Hi everyone, my name is Georgia. I stream on Twitch and I also do YouTube videos. And I thought it would be a good idea to make a podcast with my fellow streamer and friend, Elder Irish. So here we are. Today we're just going to be talking about Baldur's Gate, what it's like streaming together, and our hopes for the coming podcast episodes.
Well, I'll start with introducing myself. I'm the Elder Irish streamer. I'm being streaming. The main reason I feel like we did this or we chose to do this was mainly because we were having long conversations and they were seeming interesting. Yeah.
As Elder said, the reason we decided to create this podcast is because we stream, and then after streaming, we just talk for hours about whether it be video games or just things that interest us. And I thought, how about we do this but make it more productive? So that's what we're doing. And yeah, why not, right? Why
Yeah,
not?
exactly.
I personally have always liked podcasts. I think podcasts are really interesting. It's good to have a different type of media that you can just listen to without actually having to look at the screen constantly worried you're missing something. So hopefully we will be just as entertaining, if not more entertaining, with only the audio and not the visuals.
Podcasts to me were kind of a new thing. Like the closest thing to podcasts I used to listen to was like, say, someone talking about a game but breaking it down. But it'd be like 3 to 6 hours long video of why to say
Yeah.
Starfield was crap, you know. And I'd
Which
sit
it
there
was.
and listen to it. I'd sit there and listen
Yeah.
to that thing start to finish, but I wouldn't be watching the visuals as such. I don't know if that's considered a podcast, but it's the closest thing I'd get to in most times.
The way you were consuming that media was like it was a podcast. Yeah. If you're hearing us for the first time, welcome in. I'm quite Scottish. Elder here, as you might have guessed from the username alone, is quite Irish.
Quite.
We meld well, you know?
Yeah, we have more in common than you would think. But being Scottish and Irish, heritage-wise,
Yep. We're both white. We both don't season our food as much as we should.
I am the Elder Irish. So if you've ever stumbled upon my Twitch channel or YouTube channel, you'll notice I tend to play a lot of Bethesda-based games. So I do some variety, but I usually stick around the Fallout, Skyrim.
Yeah. The Elder in his
Baldur's.
name doesn't actually mean old. It means
No.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, the Elder Scrolls. Hence, I try to stick to doing like kind of wacky and challenges, and like I've played Skyrim and Oblivion and Fallout a million times over. So I try to play it in a different way if possible. So keep it interesting, something new. And if you want to know why I do it and why I stream, it's mostly because I miss the old days when we used to have to play together. Like when you had your family and your friends, you'd have to go to your friend's house and sit together and talk about games and play with each other. Which I get that similarity from Twitch, or it's a community, it's interactive,
So do you feel as though games aren't as social as they used to be?
No, yeah, I feel like a lot more people when the internet really came in and consoles, you couldn't just they lost the co-op, the sit down couch co-op. A lot of consoles did. A lot of people just went to their homes and played from their homes. I miss going over, like picking my controller up and my memory card from my console, and walking over to my friend's house and plugging it in, and we're playing, Nightfire together or something. I miss those days. So I get that similarity from Twitch, where I sit down and I have a bunch of people show up and we talk about games and we play games and we reminisce about the old times.
Even though I'm quite young, maybe not internet wise, I also agree. I personally don't like challenges, especially not when it comes to video games. I much prefer when it's super easy, so we're very different in that regard. But I do remember the days when I used to sit on my Xbox 360 and I used to play, Crash Bandicoot. There was no Googling for how to cross a stage or how to beat something. Like, that wasn't something that was accessible at the time. So it's interesting to see how we've grown in that regard. But I totally agree with you that I think it feels better to enjoy something together, especially video games. So
Exactly.
and I think this is just another way for us to do that. We can still share our thoughts and our feelings about different games and different types of media. It's just a different sort of platform that we're doing it with. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's nice to have a similarity in that matter, but and I feel like I do get it. I do get that from people. And you mentioned like not being able to, back in the day, to look up,
Guides
yeah.
And I know you had that big book.
Yeah.
I'm aware you had that big book with
From
all
Oblivion. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't have anything like that.
And that's only because that was later in the years. Like I remember playing on in the 90s when we were playing on the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1. You'd just buy magazines and you'd read articles, and the older people here will remember the cheat books. I don't ever remember. You remember these? And you could it'd have all the cheats for the Grand Theft Auto, up, down, left, right, triangle, and then you could like summon a tank in, infinite
Yeah, I
health.
knew of them,
Yeah,
but I never
that's
used
where they
them.
all came from. There was no internet. So if you
No,
wondered how people do
there
that, we
wasn't.
used to like in school. One guy would buy the book, but he would like write down on a piece of paper directional up, down, left, right, X, and we'd take those pages home. We'd all copy off each other, and then we'd go home and we'd come in the next day. Yeah, that cheat was so good and stuff. We used to do all stuff like
But
that.
that's the thing as well, is back then there was no forums. We've got forums now, we've got like go on Reddit or all these different websites where you can talk about the game and what your opinion of it was. But there wasn't that back in the day, you
I
know?
don't even know how to use Reddit or what it is or what it's like on
That's a green flag. Like a quarter of the Irish flag, that's a green flag. Um
it.
I was just using it as an example.
Just throwing it
But
out there, just so you know how like that's something I tend to like.
there are old people that use Reddit, by the
Yeah,
way.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. But the thing is, like, I'm just an example of what I'm like. I didn't know what Twitch was till during COVID. I was only using YouTube, and I started YouTube in 2021. I think is when I initially started, making videos and uploading stuff. And I didn't stream for like a year after that.
What was it that made you want to start streaming?
I started streaming on YouTube. I kind of started to know what Twitch was, but I didn't. I was comfortable on YouTube. I knew how to
Hmm.
shoot it up and get it working and all sorts of stuff. But what made me stream is what I initially always wanted to do. I was just too nervous to hit that live button, so I just found it easier. I recorded what I wanted to do, and if I didn't like
Yeah.
a part, I could just pause it and re-record it or delete that part out. So
Yeah.
where when you're doing it live, people
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
as
know don't
forgiving.
understand. Yeah, it's I don't know how many times when I first hit that record button or hit that live button and literally just switch it off immediately because the nerves I hit me straight away.
Yeah.
So the first time I was like, I didn't know what to say. So I wrote down everything I wanted to say and I literally read it off the script. And then eventually, after a while, it just becomes, I've been doing it so long now, I can literally just put the camera on and just start chatting. And the scariest part is, what if nobody's there? That's the first thought you have in your head as a streamer. And I feel like you've had that too. What if no one shows up? What do I say? What do I do?
There is that thought, but for me, it's like, especially when you're got lower views, like, there's these people that get loads and loads. But I think when you're starting out, or even if you're where we're at, where we do have people that will come back, thankfully, and who are interested in us. But there is that moment where you're thinking to yourself, like, yeah, what if someone doesn't show up?
Yeah. But the thing is, Twitch is a whole different animal to YouTube where like you could go on thinking you're gonna pull in loads of viewers and you could be doing the greatest like just say Mr. Beast or any biggest Twitch streamer like XUC or someone big, huge, like get some crazy amount of views, deletes the channel and
Yeah,
starts a new channel without anyone knowing. They'll be getting zero to no views, on the Twitch algorithm
it's
because
true.
it's the top 10 or the top 20 people will take nearly 99% of all the views and the rest kind of just divvies
Yeah,
out to all the smaller guys. You tend to have an audience somewhere else to pull an audience into Twitch, and that's generally how
yeah.
it works. How it worked for me anyway.
No,
Is
same here. Like there's days where it will be recommending you and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, I found you through the algorithm." And then there's other days where you're struggling to get 50 views. And
Mhm.
I think it can be like that sometimes with Twitch. Like I find that there's certain times I'll stream where I get way more viewers. If I stream earlier, I find that I don't get as many viewers.
Oh yeah, and it depends what I play too. Yeah, all the
Oh
because
yeah.
I you have a community after a while, and you
You
know
get a
what
niche, yeah.
yeah, you find your niche, and a lot of the time is you got to you got to take that niche, and go with it for a while before. That's what all the bigger streamers do, or YouTubers and stuff like that. They find their niche and they stick with it. And if you want to go variety, you got to slowly go into that, but you're never going to pull the views in through your variety stuff as much as you would through your niche stuff.
That's true. You need to build up a personality, I think, as well that people
Yep.
like, so that eventually if you do branch out, hopefully they follow you for who you are than what you
Yeah.
make.
And like my personality tends to be just easygoing, here for a good time, don't pull in politics, don't pull in religion, don't pull in anything from the
And then there's me. I love politics. I love religion. I'm the most uneasygoing person in the world. Give me your top 10 worst takes in the comments.
when
Thanks.
you come to my stream, all I want you to do is just come in, sit down and enjoy like just take yourself away from what's going on outside there for a few minutes and just relax for a few hours.
Yeah, like a safe haven. And then you watch it and you're like, "Oh my God, these two are arguing again."
Yeah.
What has Elder done now? Georgia screaming.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Just
ever
some reprieve from day to day. Elder, why did you do
if
that?
you've ever come to one of our Baldur's Gate streams, you know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Currently on Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, the later stages of the game, we just met Gortash. Elder
And
here, in his infinite wisdom, even though it's his first playthrough, decided to play as the Dark Urge,
it's been
which has
fun.
been so much fun.
You know, like I feel like I'm not the Darkest Urge because somebody's
Well, no,
holding me
because
back.
I won't let you be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you would be if I wasn't there, but I'm constantly there saying, "Excuse me, no, don't kill her, don't do this," because it would ruin the game. Like, so yeah, that's not created any stress or anything like that. And
No,
I'm playing Astarion, which a lot of people are surprised
you
at.
don't see many. Yeah,
My last Baldur's Gate video where I did a husband's tier list, I did not give Astarion a good review, but that's okay because they hated Jesus because he spoke the truth. But I am playing Astarion as the origin character because why not? I thought if Elder's going to be weird and wacky with it, why don't I join in? So, and I don't really have a character, so to speak, that is reoccurrent in my streams or, in my games, whereas Elder does have someone that is reoccurrent.
yeah. Grognak. Yeah, he.
Yeah,
If
speak
you've ever,
speak a bit about Grognak. Let's talk about Grognak for a bit. How about that?
well, Grognak came about accidentally. On one stream where I was struggling to think of what to play. We decided to boot up Skyrim, and someone decided to say, "Why don't you play Grognak the Barbarian?" If you don't know who Grognak the Barbarian is, he is a character from the Fallout series. I think I'm not sure if he's in the original Fallout 1 and 2 or the ones after that, but I know he shows in
He
Fallout
shows up in the
3.
comic books.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
he shows in Fallout 3 and
He also
4
shows up in Fallout 4,
and
yeah.
the TV show. But I'm not exactly that character because we kind of just made up his own backstory. He just technically has the name. And with that, we decided, I had a few mods installed when I was playing Skyrim, and we decided to do like a serial killer kind of mass murderer, psycho playthrough where he collects skulls and he just like embraces chaos. And that's
He
where
loves
he went.
violence. Fighting is the answer. If there's
Yep.
any entrails, he will be putting them in his pocket. He
Yeah,
will be
he's
putting them in your pocket, whether you want them or not, which is a reoccurring theme in our playthrough. I'll wonder why I'm over encumbered. It's just body parts in my inventory. That's why I'm over encumbered. There's just body parts in there. And I'm like, oh, I wonder who could have done that.
yeah,
And
you enjoy it.
Elder's like, I don't know. Or it was a gift. And I'm like, I don't want that gift. It's a bad
He
gift.
doesn't know understand how to social cues and stuff. He'll just give you body parts because that's what he
Okay,
likes.
I'm autistic and I also struggle with social cues. And even I know that if someone goes, hey, Georgia, just being real with you, I don't really like the skulls you're putting in my backpack, I would be like, say less. I won't put any more skulls in your backpack. But Grognak,
Yeah.
even
So
if you spell it out for him, he's like,
I'm currently working on a story with Grognak where I'm building. Yeah, like I said, he came about accidentally. He's one of my channel favorite characters. So every time I constantly get asked, "Oh, when's Grognak's playthrough coming back? When's Grognak's playthrough coming back?" So we did a loads. There's just probably about 20 odd videos of him on my YouTube channel through playthroughs, all about 3 to 4 hours long, on Skyrim, and then I decided to bring him into the Baldur's Gate universe. There will be a video explaining this in the future of how he ended up here. I'm working on that and trying to.
so what race was Grognak in Skyrim? Was he an
Argonian.
Argonian?
Yeah,
Okay, so he's always
a
been
lizard man.
this lizard guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And is he green as well in the other one?
yep. He's very similar to the way he
Okay.
looks in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, so consistent.
And yeah, this is just adding to his story of how he's going to become. And yeah, he's been chaotic, but I feel like Jorda's taming him, but using him as her own personal weapon at times, which he is
Yeah, I
very
can fix
powerful.
him.
I don't know how much you can fix, but if you point him in the right direction, he can be very useful.
Very true.
Yeah. He's right now he's a barbarian in Baldur's Gate with a mix of the fire class too, just to give us a bit more movement and stuff like that. It is my first proper playthrough of Baldur's Gate, so it
He
is a
dived
little
into the deep end. It was a
yeah,
baptism by fire, for sure.
it's a learning curve for me. But I really enjoy it. The combat and stuff like that in Baldur's Gate is very enjoyable for me because the main reason I like it, I like turn-based
You like
games.
turn-based combat, whereas I
Mm.
don't. That's one thing I find interesting as well. Like, when it comes to games, we have very different things we like, but we meet each other in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
I hate turn-based combat. and I hate caring too much about strategy and all of that, whereas that's Elder's bread and butter. So, but for me, I like the story more. I like the characters more. I like the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah,
It's nice to have someone who's the complete opposite almost and really
yeah.
enjoys that turn-based combat and really enjoys like new challenges and stuff. But Baldur's Gate especially can be quite difficult, to be honest, as a game. I think it's a little difficult. Like the reason I think we're going through it so quickly together is because I've played it so many times. And I know like where to go, and I think if we were both playing it for the first time ever, we'd both be so lost. Oh, don't go here because you'll get killed, or don't do that, or this will happen, you know? Whereas yeah, when I first played it, I died every other minute. And that was on the easiest difficulty because I was just so unused to this type of game. I had played Divinity Original Sin 2. I don't know if you've played that, Elder. It's the previous game from Larian, which is the company that made Baldur's Gate. I really enjoyed it, even though again it is like turn-based combat. For me, it was the story and the characters were very lovable, really interesting, and Baldur's Gate definitely carries through with that story. I haven't played the previous Baldur's Gates games. I know that Jaheira and what's the other guy's name? You know the guy. Well, we actually haven't met him yet in our playthrough, but the Stone Lord. Do you remember the mention of him? They
No,
were characters that were in.
it tends to be an ongoing recurrence with me. I tend to
Yeah,
enjoy.
if you ask Elder if he remembers something, he will say no, especially if it's about the story,
Yeah,
or something an NPC said. Whereas I'm the complete opposite. I will remember every little thing. So again, that's another reason why I think we are such a good duo because we're so different.
I'll
Like,
remember the
and
combat and the killing, and George will remember all the talking. I tend to zone out
yeah,
sometimes.
anyway, I haven't played the previous games, but I do know that characters that I love from this game, like Jaheira and Minsk, they were in the previous games. So eventually maybe I'll get around to doing that. But yeah, that's what we're playing currently. It's our first proper full length playthrough together. And I've been having a great time. It's something I've been looking forward to every week. You know, I want to hear a bit more about what you think of it as the first time you're playing. I know you said that kind of you don't pay attention as much as you maybe think you should to the story
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But overall, what are you feeling so far playing Baldur's Gate 3?
if I was to think about the game, I'd start with the intro. I've played the intro a few times just on my own, just testing other role like other characters and builds and stuff like that. But I never usually get too far in because I don't know. It's a huge time sink, and I usually don't have the time to be playing a second playthrough on my own. But I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a mod gonna ever come out that you can just skip that part because or start a different way because
Oh,
it's
there
like this.
is.
It reminds me of the Skyrim carriage ride. You know, you've done that a million times
But that's
over.
so iconic though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what's gonna. I feel like it's gonna happen with the intro to the game, um, for a lot of people because once you get into it, what I love about this game is you can. It is the game kind of is linear. I actually had a comment there on one of my YouTube channels earlier, yesterday, and they asked is the game linear, and I said it is, but it really isn't at the same time because
Yeah.
you can be a different race, play as a main character, play like whatever you start as. Generally, will change how the game plays for you. So whether you'll have different dialogue options, and with those dialogue options, can open different quests. You can actually meet different people depending on what race you become, which opens other quest lines and different ways of doing things. You can completely miss things, so skip over like quests. And if you go back over it, you find brand new things that you maybe never knew, and go a whole different way around of getting to the end, which blows my mind about the game, and that's what I really like about it. The builds, the character customization, it's very good. It can feel like a different game every time, and that's what I really enjoy about it.
Mm.
From the start, me, I love a good old RPG. That's what brings me into the game a lot of the time. I love being able to play as a barbarian to a mage to a bard. I love all that. So much variety. I kind of get the sense. I don't know if anyone. One of my first ever RPGs that I really got sucked into was Oblivion,
Yeah. Me
and
too.
I was obsessed with that game for months and months. And I was like, "Oh, what if I try this and what if I try that?" I kind of
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate kind of gave me that back again. That
Yeah,
feeling
it's a
again.
similar sort of concept, yeah, because even if it's the same game, it's completely different depending on what type of character you play and how
Yeah,
you go about things. Like, and that's why I also really like the choices and the type of person you can become and how that will affect the other characters around you. I mean, especially with the Dark Urge, it's a character that can literally, depending on what you decide to do, you can make it so other characters don't exist. There's so many things you can do that will impact the games to such a large degree. And there were things like that in Oblivion, like,
yeah,
like whether or not you decide to help Martin and whether you decide to be good or bad and what side quests you do. It does feel very similar. It feels like you have an actual impact on the game and the world around it, which I really like. I don't like it
Yeah.
when you play a game and you don't really feel as though your actions are actually doing anything, but in Baldur's Gate, it totally feels like what you do will have consequences to quite a large degree. I don't know, that's more immersive to me because I feel like that's it's the same in real life, you know, you fuck up, you find out, like, and you definitely find out in Baldur's Gate. Well, at least Elder does.
Yeah, well, when and then I speak about the stories. The story in this game is really good. From what I could see, the problem is I'm streaming. I'm talking to multiple people in my chat. I'm speaking to Georgia. I'm
And
playing
it's
as a
hard, isn't it, when you're
yeah,
streaming?
and I'm playing a character that's kind of crazy, and I'm always trying to think like I don't know when I pick up the Grognak, I kind of embrace him,
He
and
logs in as Grognak, and literally the spirit of Grognak overtakes him, and all he can think about is, how can I piss Georgia off? What can I do that's funny? What's the stupidest thing I can do right
I
now?
just think of like what would Grognak do? It is that, and that's what kind of takes over. So I
Chaos.
would nearly, in my opinion, I probably will go back over the game on my own one of these days just to get the story. But I am really enjoying what I've known and what I've seen, and it is well written. It's really well written. The fact that there's multiple endings, multiple outcomes for quests and stuff like that is just more reasons I think people should be picking this game up. But the reason it is Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, it's definitely founded. Like, I know that a lot of people kind of got tired of it because they were seeing it constantly because it was so hyped. But eventually, you know, you play it and you understand why. I actually have a funny story. I bought the pre-sale, like the before it was released, about a year, I think a year and a half before the game was actually out. So I bought it on Steam to support them because I thought this is going to be great because it was really like role play, it was fantasy, it was all the things I like. So I did that and I played up until the part in Act 1 where you meet the hag. That was all they had created at the time. There was also characters that didn't exist yet or characters that were very different. So I played that, I loved it. I was so excited the game to come out. Game comes out, I can't play it. my my laptop could not handle Baldur's Gate 3 in all of its entirety. I could handle it when it was just, a small little Act 1 taster. It could not handle it as a full game. So I had to sit there and listen to everyone who had just bought the game going, I love this game. Look how good it is. When are you going to play it? That was the thing that bothered me. People were coming to my stream and being like, Georgia, we want to see you play Baldur's Gate. And I'm like, so do I. I also want to see Georgia play Baldur's Gate. But I couldn't because my laptop just couldn't handle it. And now finally I've got an Xbox and I've got a PC. So it's not a problem now. But that was a funny story I had because I had the game I was one of the OGs and I couldn't play it. My poor
Look,
laptop it would just fizzle up and dissolve the minute I tried to open it.
look, as a Bethesda, enthusiast player, I own like 4 or 5 different copies of Skyrim, so I can't really say much. You know what I mean? So having 2 copies of a Baldur's Gate isn't too bad, I don't think.
Yeah, the price tag's a little rough.
Yeah,
But it is a game I'm happy to support. I think I would be more angry if it was a game that ended up disappointing me. But I think very little people got disappointed by Baldur's Gate as a whole. A lot of people were saying it's what gaming's been needing for
at
ages.
least the PC option opens you to mods and stuff. Well, more mods. I
Oh
know
yeah,
the mods are coming to console anyway, but they're never
there's never
as
as
many
many
options.
available.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only problem I have with console is the modding
yeah,
end
the
is
lack of mods.
which I'm never huge on mods. Like I've never been a big modding person. I tend to try keep everything vanilla as best as I can because a lot of my attitude to the videos I used to make is I like people to say you can do this too. Even if you're on console or if you're on PC or whatever.
Yeah, you want to create an experience that, like, if someone goes, "Oh, I want to play it," it's not going to be widely different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more accessible that way. Like, I remember when I played Morrowind for the first time, everyone was raging at me because I had no mods. And I think there are certain mods that make old games like Morrowind more accessible and more playable. And I think
yeah,
that's what they wanted me to do. But no, I played that bare bones, and it's the same with Oblivion. And people will be like, "Are you using mods?" And I'm like, "No," because some games just don't need them. It's fun to have them, but I
yeah,
think, as Elder said, it's good to be able to play something and for it to be a genuine representation of what people can get. Because not everyone has a PC, not everyone has a console. Some people only have a shitty laptop, like I did, and I can play Oblivion on that. I can play Oblivion without mods on that. It's nice to be like, hey, by the way, you can do this. Don't worry, you can also do
by
this.
Oblivion.
Buy Oblivion, guys. This isn't a Yeah, we're not shills, by the way. We're not getting paid at all by Bethesda or Todd Howard. We just really like the games, except Starfield and
Todd lowers the
yeah.
gun.
So yeah, yeah. I have never played Raid Shadow Legends. Have
Neither
you?
have I. Either have I, and I never
Yeah.
will. Sorry. You walk into your mother's house, she's trying to sell you a game of Raid Shadow Legends or something. Mom, no!
Mom,
It's me
please
too!
stop doing this, Mom. I can't talk to you anymore.
Well, back to Baldur's Gate. There's another thing I wanted to talk about that I think is really good about this
Mhm,
game that a lot of other games don't usually need, but this game
mhm.
benefits hugely from it, and that's the multiplayer aspect of it. That the fact that you can
Oh yeah.
hop in and out with friends, up to 4 players, which is freaking awesome. Like,
I mean, we wouldn't be here. You
yeah,
know, we wouldn't be talking like about it if we couldn't play it together.
I
So,
was intimidated by the game initially when it first came out, and I was like, I was watching like the scale of it and the length of it, and some people playing it, and I was just like, this game is too many things on the screen. There's too many things to click. There's too many things to do. I need someone to help me, basically, because I was getting way too intimidated.
an elder looked through his massive list of people that were far more qualified, far more popular, and for some reason picked me, and here we are.
Here we are.
He was like, this Scottish girl that yells too much and is really bad at video games. I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yup.
Well, in
So,
fairness, you've played it more than most other people I know.
oh yeah, because I'm insane. I like got it and like guys, if you're autistic, you'll know hyperfixations, bro. They go hard. I got Baldur's Gate, and especially after getting edged by it for so long, I couldn't play it for so long. Finally had it. You couldn't get me away from that game. My mum would come in at like 2 a.m. and be like, Georgia, are you okay? I'm like, not now, mum. I'm talking to Shadowheart. And that was me for like a couple weeks. Like, I played that game like 3 times in its entirety, doing all sorts of different things because I was obsessed with it. Whereas now I can play with Elder. That feeling doesn't overtake me, but I still have the knowledge that I gained from that experience, so I can guide him.
Does it feel different playing it with a compa like as in co-op? Like, does it? Yeah, you get a
Oh,
different
completely.
experience. Yeah,
Completely, because, at the end of the day, when I'm playing by myself, I'm kind of in the role. I'm in the game, and I'm
yeah.
not worried about someone else, because I'm controlling everyone. Whereas when you're there, I'm constantly worried, like, what is he doing? What is he touching? And then on top of that, trying to have a
Also,
romantic moment with Gale as a Starion, and then all of a sudden you just run past naked or something, and it just the immersion is different for sure. But then there's also moments where we're fighting or when we're in a scene and our characters stand side by side and it's like, hell yeah.
yeah,
Take
yeah,
you have to take two of us, bro. So there are different feelings that you get, I think, from playing it multiplayer versus by yourself. And I think both are valuable. And yeah, both are fun. I think it's way more fun now as someone who has played it before, playing
yeah,
it with someone else. Like that, like even though I would say it's super replayable, I think even if you get burnout from playing a game too much, you can still play it multiplayer.
yeah. I think you could play really any game these days, and multiplayer just makes it that bit more fun. And
Yeah, it adds something to
yeah,
it.
that's I don't know. Even if it's a crappy game, and if you and your friend are laughing throughout it, it's a good game. Is you're having a good time, you know.
Good time equals good
But
game.
this game is a really good game on its own with
Yep.
multiplayer, which is super rare. It's super rare to find
Yep.
something like that these days. Like,
Totally.
could you imagine? I would have lost my mind if I had this game back when I was younger. I would have never left home. Like, I would have never, ever, ever like dropped this game. This game is the game I dreamt of as a kid at times. You know,
And
being
I've
out.
heard a lot of people say that. Like, this is
Yeah,
the game I dreamed of. You are the one from my dreams.
Patrick Stewart, is that you?
Who knew he was talking about Baldur's Gate the whole time? He foresaw it.
Yeah.
Have you got any like favorite characters at the moment? I know you're probably going to struggle to answer that. Is there anything that's, in terms of story or character that has stood out to you? Is there anything that
Um.
annoys you other than me? Is there anything like specifically you can think of?
As in characters, first of all, I enjoy Gale. I do. I no,
You said
Gale.
you hated Gale.
No, I hate it. I hate his when he's in combat because he sucks. I love the way Gale's so polite to you and he actually introduces himself. And I just didn't like him in combat since he misses. Characters I don't like is Showerheart annoys me at times. She
Why?
kind of it's just too moany, giving it all
Yeah,
time.
you don't like people who complain.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen our streams, Elder is really mean to the Dream Visitor. What did we find out recently,
Do we
Elder,
want to
about the
spoil
Dream
that
Visitor?
already, or?
We're allowed to do that. Spoilers
Yeah.
ahead, obviously. Most people have
Okay, just
played
want to
this
be
game,
sure.
Elder.
But yeah, the Dream Visitor guy or slash girl or whatever is a catfish. Has been catfishing all this time, and I was pretty annoyed about that to be honest, because I made a character like I based my Dream Visitor guy off of Cicero. He doesn't look anything like Cicero. It doesn't sound anything like Cicero, and now it all makes sense because it wasn't Cicero. And I was so disappointed because like I would have got it. Like I wouldn't have cared if he just showed himself what he really looked like. You guys ever watched MTV back in the early 2000s? And you guys remember Catfish and this TV show? And it always turns out
Oh,
to be this guy, like, or girl, or whatever. Like that, it's usually their friend or their cousin or their best friend that's been catfishing them this whole time in the background, just because they felt sorry for them or something like that. And it's just like,
uh,
I thought I was gonna marry you. Like, no, I'm not talking to him anymore. I'm sick of him now. He's not. He keeps coming into my dreams.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
hates him
lied to me,
now.
man. I don't like liars. Don't like liars.
But he had to. He didn't know you would like him as a octopus man. Because I mean, when you think about it, it's the mind flayers that put the parasites in our brain in the
Hmm.
first place. So of course
He
he's
didn't
gonna
even
be
try.
like,
He didn't
"You're
even
not
leak
gonna
it out
trust
there
me."
slowly or that. We found out. We slipped in there and caught him. We caught him with
Yeah,
his pants
true,
down. We seen it.
true. This is Dateline
Yeah.
NBC. Do you have
I don't
anything
know.
to
Like it
say for
was a nice
yourself?
twist in the game, in story wise. Like it was cool, but
But you didn't
yeah, I
appreciate
don't
getting
like it.
catfished.
I don't like being lied to.
I also I made my dream visitor personally. I made it myself because I thought, well, I'm not playing myself, so I might as well incorporate Georgia somehow. So I made my dream visitor me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, I
I
kind
don't
of
see.
miss it because now it's just a giant octopus
I don't
man,
see. I don't know. This is what I'm gonna do in the future. If I get the opportunity, I'm gonna kill him. That's it. I don't know if he can in the game. Yeah,
and we
that's right.
will because he's
Yep.
stupid.
You catfished me, man. That's what happens when you lie to me.
So
You don't lie to Grognak. You don't lie to
he
Grognak.
did. Don't lie to Grognak. No, it is bad for your
Yeah.
health
Honestly, I
to
don't think
lie to
Grognak would have
Grognak.
minded. Like if he's like, I'm actually a good one, literally, octopus guy.
The more you learn about his character, you learn he's not a very good person regardless. There is a really big surprise though coming later on for us to discover who he actually is or was because mind you, mind flayers don't really exist by
Hmm.
themselves. So to become a mind flayer, you need to be infected
Right.
with a parasite. So
Don't
this
spoil it for
guy
us yet. Don't
that
spoil.
we hate,
Yeah.
I'm not going to, but I'm just saying he was infected with a parasite. We're going to find out later on who he is or was.
Right.
Maybe your opinion will change, maybe it'll get worse. For me it got
If
worse,
there's more lies evolved, it'll get worse.
you know. Oh, lies of omission for
You
sure,
know,
but
Grognak embraces chaos. He likes to murder. He likes,
he likes
but you don't lie to
honesty.
him, man. Yeah.
There's some sins that cannot be forgiven, and for him,
Yeah.
it's
Don't
lies.
catfish him.
Murder, fine. Lies, no.
Grog would be on like Tinder or something like that, and then he'll meet up with a person, and it'll be someone they'll look totally different from the picture, and he just loses shit, like
He just murders
just
them.
rampages.
Do you think Grognak would use Tinder?
No,
No. I think
yeah,
Astarion would for sure.
yeah.
Astarion would be on there. Tinder, Grinder, Bumble, Hinge. He'd be on all of
Like
them.
Grognak would be the
Astarion would.
guy that would type with one finger on the computer, on the keyboard.
Oh my god. But yeah, we're gonna continue streaming that. I'm excited to see your reaction to other things because the catfishing reaction was super funny. And then yeah, after this one, we're wanting to play some more games together. So we're wanting to continue
Yeah,
this
the co-op The
trend we've
co-op
got
thing
going
will
on.
keep going. There's plenty of games out there. There's a lot of co-op stuff I have in mind, and I'm sure you'll have in mind, and we'll power through some stuff.
Hmm.
This is the biggest one. I'd say the biggest
Oh,
playthrough
for
I've done in
sure.
a long time. I think we're up to 15 episodes. I may be wrong with that, but I think around that number so far.
Yeah, and they're all
Yeah,
about 4 hours
it's
each. So
quite a few. Oh yeah,
it adds up. We're hoping to do the same with the
yeah, and
podcast.
that's
Maybe not 4 hours though.
no. Some people might like that though. In fairness, though.
Oh, I bet.
The whole Baldur's Gate thing is going to determine where Grognak goes next, really. So I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. He's always evolving and changing, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
And he's not
Well,
romancing
he kind of got
anyone.
cockblocked from a
So
lot of stuff, unfortunately, because I didn't know how to romance.
he did, yeah, because yeah, I don't think he was at the start he wasn't ready, and then by the time he was ready, everyone else was like, there might still be time for Minthara, maybe, if you continue to be really
The
nice to her.
catfish guy really wanted me, but I told him where to go. I didn't.
Yeah, and I said you could have had him, but you kept being mean to him, so I don't think you can
Good.
anymore. Good riddance. Alright, so what should everyone expect from us going forward?
Well, firstly, more podcasts like this. Future podcasts are going to be more oriented
Mhm.
towards things, I think. We're usually going to pick like a game or a topic, less
Yeah,
about
totally.
ourselves, more about the content.
Though we will be getting our
Yeah,
opinions
less
in,
about what we
so there
do and
is a
what we
part
do,
of it
but
that
what we
will be
think and how we
us.
feel about that. That's what's going to happen in the future, I feel like. But other than that,
Yeah.
I don't know how often we're going to be uploading these. That's still to determine. I'll let Georgia handle that end. But otherwise, for me, I'm going to be streaming, uploading to YouTube, and then I'm working on editing content for a future channel on that end too. So I'm very very busy. Other than with my day-to-day life stuff that holds me back from all
Mhm.
the streams and editing I wanted to do.
Right now, we're looking at bi-weekly, I think, for podcast episodes, and then we'll see how we get on. If I feel like it's doable and we've got the time and the energy, then maybe we can switch it to weekly. It also depends on the reception as well, how people enjoy it, what people think. Yeah, fingers crossed, as long as we're having fun and we've got stuff to talk about, I don't see why we wouldn't
Yeah.
have more episodes. So we're also going to make a YouTube channel with the same title as our podcast that I'm going to be uploading the podcasts to. So you can listen to it on YouTube. I'm also going to try and get it on Spotify. And if there's any other platforms you would like us to be on, please let me know and I'll work towards getting us on there.
What should people look forward to, like,
Huh?
to on your end? Like,
Oh, people shouldn't look forward to anything when it comes to me. If you want consistency, Elder's your guy. I'll try my best though. Um, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I tend to stick to Monday and Wednesday.
Anything specific planned other than this podcast and our streams. Hopefully, I'll start being a bit more active on Twitch. I also have a YouTube channel. I recently put a bunch of videos up about the new Dragon Age trailer, which I'm sure we'll have ample time to talk
I
about.
know nothing about Dragon Age, but I'll be happily to do a bit of I'll do a bit of studying on it, and I'll learn up on it, and I'll give my opinion on it.
That'll be my rant day.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
look forward to us. Like, if you want to catch us live, we're usually
yeah.
live on Mondays. If you want to catch either one of us live on our own, I'm every Wednesday, and
Mhm.
Georgia varies. So just follow our Discord, follow on all our socials on our YouTube channel, and you tend to see updates around there. I tend to think. Same for me. I have Discord, Twitter.
You can see me on
People still
Facebook. I'm
use
doing
Facebook.
Facebook Lives. You catch me on
The
Facebook
Tortoise
Live,
family.
guys. Yeah, thank you for listening. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Obviously, this is just a quick one where we introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about what we were doing. There will be more structure
Yeah.
going forward in terms of what we're talking about, but this was just a quick intro for you guys. We hope that you're interested. If you're not, too bad, listen anyway. And then who knows, maybe we'll talk about a game you like or a subject you're interested in. If you've got anything you would like us to cover that you think we would also be knowledgeable about, say in the Discord or in the YouTube comments. We're happy to do our little studying, happy to have new people watching our streams, new people in our YouTube comments. And this is a new venture for us and we're really excited. So thank you for being a part of it.
Longest
And hopefully
goodbye,
there's many more to
folks.
come.